Hi everyone, Deb here with another project using the June kits. I'm showing you this layout because it's a layout I did quite some time ago, and well, it wasn't last year, the year before. Anyway, it was a while ago, and I've always wanted to scrap lift myself on this layout. So that was a 9 by 12 or an 8.5 by 11, and I've always wanted to do it on a 12 by 12 layout. So I've used my hexagon punch, and I've punched out some hexagons with just some plain printer paper just to get an idea of how many I wanted on my layout. And now I'm going to go through the pattern paper and start punching out the patterns that I want on the layout. And you all wanted to go with the blue and the pink color tones with that wood grain kind of paper as well. And so I'm just punching them out and replacing the paper hexagons with the pattern paper, and I do fiddle about with that for a while. Then I made myself a little template with to cut out some fun foam. I managed to find some adhesive backed fun foam. So that's what I'm going to do here, and I'm just going to trace around this little template that I've got and cut some of these hexagons out. The foam was a little bit too thick for my punch to try and do it with that, and the reason I'm doing that is that I'm going to bump up a couple of the hexagons on my layout with this fun foam. So now I'm going to go about sticking everything down, and I do fiddle about a bit because I kind of swiped everything off and forgot my position of how I wanted things. I did bring in my T-ruler to help try and keep things as straight as possible. Once you get down a few, I just kind of eyeballed it, and if it didn't look right, I bring in my ruler and just fix it. I wasn't really too fussed about getting it exact. So yeah, just fussing about, and I'm going to stick all of this down. Now I've got my photo printed out, and I'm just marking it off because there's no point putting hexagons, filling the hexagons all behind the photo. Just the ones that will be peeking out the side's going to be plenty. So I just marked it off, and I can just leave that space unfilled because my photo will be covering it. So I decided to bring in the stamp set, and I'm going to stamp out a few of the phrases to make my own tiny little words to go on my layout. Wasn't sure, I've only got like 2 navy colours in my stash. One's from Studio Calico and the other one is a Stays On. End up going with the Stays On. It's a midnight blue, and I found that worked well with the blue that was on my page. Some of the phrases are like slightly curved, and they were easily straightened out on my block there. And I did stamp out a few of the phrases like adventure log, and I think the other one was loving this view. So when I do cut them down, I'm going to cut them down so it says adventure and loving this. So you see I've got my tiny little phrases there stamped out to the side of my layout, and I just brought in a doily from my stash to go behind the photo, and I'm just going to use a little bit of washi just to hold it in place before I glue everything down. Now this is a photo of me, Steph, Corinne and Corinne's daughter at the Scrapbook Expo. I went to, last weekend, not last weekend, the weekend before. And unfortunately, after that weekend, I got really sick. I'd kind of been fighting it on and off, but then after that weekend, it just, yeah, I got really sick and my voice is still croaky. I'm still recovering. Didn't fully get me, but it was enough to, yeah, to make me feel really rotten. So, but I had so much fun on this day that I wanted to document it. So just bringing in my tiny words there and one of the exclusives, as well as the vellum flowers we got in the pack. So down to the bottom here, I am bringing in, I'm going to bring in some washi. I started off with this darker kind of silver washi, and then I realized I had a lighter silver that matched a bit better with the stars and that we got in the Wolf Pack ephemera pack. And I am going to bring some strips of pattern paper down to the top and bottom because that's what I had done on my original layout. Now I had a few camera problems. I got so engrossed in scrapbooking that I didn't realize my memory had filled up, so it did cut out when I was making my bigger kind of flowers for my layout. And I'm going to show you how I did it with the smaller flowers. Just punched out some flowers and then I pulled out my little yellow mat and flower kind of making tool, and I absolutely love this. I bought this at the Scrapbook Expo, and it makes the process so easy for making your own flowers, and it's a lot quicker too. So just showing you how I made the flowers with these little ones, and I'm going to show you the flowers I've already made. Now for the center of the flowers, I wanted it to be silver because I am going to bring in the silver stars, and I've got that silver washi. And I was running really low on the rhinestones, my like clear silvery kind of rhinestones. So I bought in these ones that I've stuck into the bigger flowers, and then the smaller flowers I used what was left on my rhinestone sheet there, and just kind of positioning where they're going to go. Now, the other part that I didn't get to record that my camera cut out was that I used my border punch on either side of my page. I brought my I can't, it's a biscuits punch, and all I did was punch it once on either side and then backed that with some pattern paper. I brought in these silver alphas that we got. Oh, I think it was March 2017. I never used them. I used the gold ones we got in the pack. So they were great to bring in a title. I wanted a silver title, and they don't. The title doesn't scream at you. It's really mellow, and I really love how it turned out. So now I'm going about sticking my stars down that came from the ephemera pack. And I did find some tiny silver sequins that we got, I think it was July last year in a kit. And I'm going to use some of them as well. And then I go around the border with to do my journaling. I do it in pencil first to make sure it's all going to fit. And then I go in with a metallic silver pen. And that's pretty much all I do, I think. Yeah, and then I add a date to the label at the top. So I hope you guys enjoyed. The stills and some slowed down footage will be at the end. And don't forget to check out Kitaholics. Sorry, my throat's really on fire now. Yeah, so don't forget to check out Kitaholic Kits, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.